Hello everyone, I'm Ganesh and I'm a storage solutions architect here at Amazon Web Services. I've been with AWS for nearly 4 years now. Prior to that, I've had a career in enterprise storage for over 25 years. And today, I'd like to talk to you about data lakes and specifically why so many of our customers have adopted Amazon S3 Simple Storage Service as the storage platform for their data lake. First, I'm going to address some of the common challenges our customers were facing with their data. Next, we'll see how deploying a data lake on Amazon S3 helped them address those challenges. Then we'll have a look at typical solutions our customers have actually deployed in AWS. And we'll wrap up with a brief view of what your journey to an AWS data lake might actually look like. Customers have told us about several challenges they've had to deal with in the past when attempting to build and operate a data lake. What kinds of challenges? First, data is growing exponentially. It's no longer just about finding the capacity to hold the data. It's also about managing complexity by automating all the housekeeping required to secure this data, perform routine operations on it, optimize your storage cost. At the same time, customers are also trying to democratize the data by making it available to many different kinds of personas. Now, when it comes to analytics, it's no longer just a small group of data analysts doing BI who are looking at this data. It's data scientists, it's application developers, it's people in a variety of roles within your organization. And every one of them is trying to make data-driven decisions. This means it's critical to adopt the right kind of security and compliance implementations. You need to provide the appropriate level of access to each persona. Customers are also looking for shorter time to value for their data. Many of them are no longer talking about nightly ETL jobs. The analytics cycles are getting shorter. Real-time and near real-time analytics use cases are becoming common, and customers need those analytics platforms to support these use cases. Getting good insights from your data sometimes requires you to look at all of it. For example, let's look at a typical e-commerce use case. You are trying to get insights from your end users' online buying behavior. So you need access to their purchase history. Now that's usually something handled by your CRM and stored within your data warehouse. You also need access to clickstream data, so you can see how your end users navigating through your website, where they're clicking. This you can get from your web server logs, and that's typically stored with your unstructured data. In many environments, this kind of data gets stored in large HDFS file systems and accessible only from your Hadoop clusters. There are two different owners for these two different data sets. You now have this challenge of combining these two data sources because that's what you need to do. This is what will let you find out whether a new web page in your website has actually contributed to your revenues. This is the key reason why a data lake makes sense to our customers. It makes it possible to break down those data silos and look at the data holistically. Customers have been telling us they want a data lake as the single source of truth or authoritative copy of all of their data, whether it's structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. Their storage needs can be very elastic at times, so they never want to worry about running out of capacity or bandwidth. They want a choice of storage tiers at different price points so they can optimize their storage costs. They also want choices when it comes to data formats. Maybe they want to take advantage of open source columnar formats like Apache Parquet or ORC. They want a choice of analytics engines to perform different kinds of processing on their data. Now let's see how using Amazon S3 for your data lake can actually help address these challenges. Amazon S3 offers you 11 nines of durability and 4 nines of availability out of the box. and that's with your data in one region. S3 uses a 3 availability zone architecture, which gives you a level of resilience that's not matched by any other provider. And with S3 cross-region replication, you can choose to automatically get yourself a replica in a different region. And this can help if you have a compliance requirement, for example, or you need low latency access to your data from different regions. In terms of scalability, there's no limit to how much data you can store in S3. There's no limit to the object count in your S3 buckets. Your throughput scales automatically, and as you add objects to your buckets, you get more scalable performance. When it comes to security, S3 offers you several ways to lock down your data. For access control, you can use IAM policies. You can use bucket policies, ACLs. In S3, your buckets and objects are always private by default. If you need to expose your data to other AWS accounts or to the public, you will need to explicitly add policies or ACLs to do that. A couple of years back, we introduced block public access. With this, you have a choice of overriding all bucket policies or ACLs that grant public access. And you can choose to block access either at the individual bucket level or for all buckets in an AWS account. Late last year, we also introduced Access Analyzer for S3. With this feature, you can easily evaluate your bucket access policies and identify any buckets with either public access or access from other AWS accounts. This is great if you're looking for a report that you can download. We've also had other audit capabilities. You can use CloudTrail to log every API call to S3. And you can use S3 access logs for details on the access requests. You can use S3 inventory to audit and report on the replication status and the encryption status for every one of your objects. Especially as your data lake grows to petabyte or even exabyte scale, automation becomes critical. This is why features like S3 Intelligent Tiering have been welcomed by our customers. S3 Intelligent Tiering gives you automatic cost savings by moving objects between 4 different access tiers when access patterns change. With the recent addition of the archive tier and deep archive tier, which are opt-in, you now have the opportunity to save up to 95% on your storage costs with intelligent tiering. And you get those savings automatically without any manual effort in analyzing or reviewing access patterns. Now, with scale, you also need ease of automation, and for that, we have S3 batch operations. If you need to apply an operation to billions of objects, you can do this with batch using a single API request. With S3, you can add up to 10 tags on each object. With both object prefixes and tags, you get object-level access controls. You get object-level storage tiering. You get object-level replication rules. And if you're challenged by large numbers of user personas, S3 access points may be what you need. With this, it makes it easy to manage access to shared data at scale in Amazon S3. Access points are simply named network endpoints that are attached to your bucket. You can customize the access policy for each access point, and this gives you a very clean way to isolate your end users and applications by access point name. But perhaps more critical than any of the other benefits, having your data lake on Amazon S3 lets you take advantage of the vast ecosystem of other services that integrate with S3. We're talking about services to help get your data into the data lake, services to transform and catalog your data, and services to let you analyze and derive value from your data. All of these are either serverless or they provide for managed compute, so you don't have to manage any servers yourself. Let's look at this ecosystem in more detail next. We start with Amazon S3 at the core of our data lake. First, we have the foundational services. These are services like Lake Formation to quickly set up your data lake. I'll be talking in more detail about Lake Formation later. We have Glue, which is a managed service. Glue enables you to perform serverless ETL, that's extract, transform, load, so your data can be prepared for analytics. Glue can also catalog your data. This is so you have schema definitions that your analytics engines need. We also give you more ways to get your data into your data lake than any other provider. We have managed services like DataSync and the Transfer family for quick and easy online migrations from on-premises. We have Storage Gateway giving you hybrid cloud storage. For your really large migrations in the tens or hundreds of petabytes, we give you offline migration options with our Snow family. For moving your databases and data warehouses that are on premises, we have database migration service. For your streaming data, we have several services to help you analyze the data as it's coming in and also to ingest it with on-the-fly transformation. We have customers in many verticals, whether it's healthcare, oil and gas, or autonomous vehicles, finance, virtually every industry segment out there doing IoT, generating data off the cloud and using our managed services to both ingest it as well as analyze it. S3 is analytics optimized storage. What do we mean by that? Well, first you get the tools to transform your data into columnar formats like Parquet and ORC, so your analytics can run a lot faster. With some of our services like Amazon Athena, you save money also since your queries need to scan less data with these more optimized formats. You also have compression options like Snappy with Parquet, reducing your capacity requirement and further reducing your cost. Second, we have S3 Select, which lets you use SQL expressions to read only the specific portion of an object, the portion that your application needs. Your analytics engines like Hive and Presto can use S3 Select. Our customers have seen performance improvements of as much as 400% using techniques like this. AWS gives you managed services for analytics, for business intelligence, and for machine learning. We have real-time analytics with Kinesis Data Analytics, operational analytics with Amazon Elasticsearch, providing you dashboarding via Kibana. We have batch analytics with Amazon EMR, ad hoc analytics with Amazon Athena, managed data warehouses in the cloud with Redshift. For visualization, we have QuickSight, which integrates with all these other services. All these managed services help eliminate the undifferentiated heavy lifting that goes with managing servers and software stacks. They enable you to deploy quickly and get straight to value from your data. For machine learning, we have Amazon SageMaker. This is our managed service that you can use to build, train, and deploy your own machine learning models in the cloud. Next up, we have AI enablement. Here we are talking about pre-trained artificial intelligence services. You can use these to quickly deploy pre-trained models to enable standard use cases for AI. We're talking about services like Transcribe for easily adding speech-to-text capability in your applications. Comprehend for natural language processing, to give you just two examples. And then there are the third-party tools. Tableau, TIBCO Spotfire, Power BI, just to name a few. Many of them can process data directly from AWS platforms, whether it be Redshift or S3 or Amazon EMR. Many are also available as AWS Marketplace offerings, so you can quickly deploy and use them. And finally, there's the AWS Data Exchange. Here you can find and subscribe to datasets from third parties that are of value to your business. For example, you can see here datasets from Change Healthcare, which offers a database of over 14 billion healthcare transactions that are anonymized for your use. There are datasets from Reuters with curated news stories, Dun& Bradstreet with datasets containing business records from all over the world. Today, we are offering via Data Exchange more than 1,000 datasets from more than 80 providers. A simple way to really look at all this is that the S3 API has pretty much become the lingua franca of the data storage world. The applications that matter to you speak this language. Third-party data that may be of value to your business is readily accessible in S3 also. To take advantage of this vast ecosystem, you need to start by building a data lake on Amazon S3. AWS has many compliance certifications. To name just a few: SOC 1, SOC 2, SOC 3, PCI DSS Level 1, HIPAA, FedRAMP, the EU Data Protection Directive. Not all of them are listed here, but these are the common ones our customers have been asking about. If you need to comply with a given certification, you may not be able to use all of the AWS services you were hoping to use in your design. Whenever that happens, we want to hear from you. Please do tell our account manager and we can give it consideration. Along with data and also with data lakes, do get your chief security officer involved early in the conversation. You don't want to be in a position where you've finalized your architectural design and then have compliance conversations later. And we continue to look for ways to add features to Amazon S3 and improve your experience with the service. We just recently announced S3 Storage Lens. With Lens, you get centralized organization-wide visibility into your S3 usage and activity. You get recommendations on how to optimize your storage. As your data lake grows and scales out, Storage Lens can help apply security best practices across your entire S3 footprint, across all AWS commercial regions. This can help reduce your operational burden and easily optimize your cost profile. We also just announced S3 Strong Consistency. With this launch, we are delivering strong read after write consistency for Amazon S3. And we are delivering this with no change to performance, no change to availability. You continue to have regional isolation for your applications, and there is no additional cost. What do we mean by strongly consistent? We've always had strong read after write consistency for puts of new objects in Amazon S3, and that's not new. With this launch, we're giving you strong read after write consistency for overwrites of existing objects too. A subsequent read will reflect the latest object version. List operations now have strong consistency also, so you get the most current list of objects after any write or delete operations. How does this help you? This makes it easier to move your Spark or Hadoop applications to AWS. You can move them without making any changes. You don't need additional workarounds or infrastructure to provide for strong consistency. So running these applications in AWS just became a lot simpler and less expensive. Let's take a look at some of the customer success stories around data lakes. What are some of the typical ways in which customers have benefited with a data lake centered on Amazon S3? Our first use case is serverless analytics. Here we're talking about serverless approaches such as Amazon Athena to run SQL queries against data in S3. Many of our customers pair this with QuickSight. That's a serverless way to get visualizations of your analysis results. Movable Ink is a good example of a customer using this approach. Their business is real-time personalization of marketing emails. They do this personalization by looking at a number of things. They look at the customer's purchase history, gender, geographical region, even the weather, and so on. They have 7 years of data to look at. They use Amazon Athena to perform queries against all this data. They're able to do this without running servers now. It's at least 50% faster and cost savings relative to what they were doing before. Second, the streaming use case. Epic Games is an example of a customer who does this at really high scale. I don't think I need to describe to you their online multiplayer game, Fortnite Battle Royale. It has attracted over 100 million players. The challenge for Epic Games, anyway, is Fortnite is free to play. The only way the company gets revenue from a player is from those microtransactions built into the game. Keeping players engaged in the game and figuring out how the players are responding to game features when they are introduced, those are the requirements here. Epic does this by collecting clickstream events from game consoles, over 2 million events per second. They use Kinesis data streams for real-time analysis. This lets them get insights from the data as it's coming in, even before it's persisted. After they land the data in Amazon S3, they also do batch processing of the data with EMR Spark. And with this, they've been able to provide timely feedback to their game developers on what's working and what's not working. Next up, our Hadoop Spark platform use case. FINRA, that's the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, is a regulator for equity markets here in the United States. Their mission is to sift through all of the market event data every day and identify any data indicating fraud, market manipulation, insider trading, and so on. FINRA's legacy system, which was on premises, did not scale very well. We're talking about billions of events per day, over 20 petabytes of data to be queried. By moving to HBase on Amazon EMR, FINRA was able to take advantage of EMR's auto-scaling capabilities. They could easily scale the compute up and down when needed. And because the data is in Amazon S3, they've been able to completely decouple compute from the storage and scale the compute and storage independently. For their dev test environments, they've been able to take advantage of EC2 Spot instances for additional cost savings in EMR. As a result of this, FINRA says they've been able to realize 60% cost savings while also getting the benefit of a scalable system. Our fourth use case for data lakes is data warehouse modernization. Amazon.com is a great example of a customer who had trouble with their legacy data warehouse and then succeeded with a modernized database or with a modernized data warehouse based on Redshift. Their legacy system used Oracle database infrastructure. This was monolithic, not really designed to support a petabyte scale data warehouse. They were trying to use this data warehouse for all the standard BI stuff, getting insights from data, identify potential opportunities, prepare reports, and so on. They solved the problem by simply moving to Amazon Redshift for their data warehouses. They also moved to Amazon EMR for their Spark, HBase, and Presto analytics against unstructured data in S3. And today, Amazon.com is at over 2,700 Redshift and EMR clusters. They have no scalability issues, though they've nearly doubled data volume to about 100 petabytes. The data warehouse users are also able to take advantage of Redshift Spectrum to do data in place queries against the data as it's coming in and landing on Amazon S3. So what does your journey to a data lake in AWS look like? It really depends on where you're at now with your current investments in storage and analytics. Let's say you're already running Hadoop clusters and a data warehouse on premises. Let's also say you've been doing this for a while. So you have heavily customized applications and environments that are working well for you. Lift and shift may be the best approach here. You can just move your applications as is to Amazon EC2 with EBS for block storage. You should also consider using Amazon S3 instead of HDFS, for example. And this way you have a scalable repository for your unstructured data. And with this, there's minimal changes to your application logic. You do have to self-manage your compute environments, which means you take care of high availability, you take care of code upgrades, monitoring, scaling, and so on. Some of our largest customers like Netflix, Airbnb, and Pinterest went with this approach in the early stages of their journey. The other pattern, if you're just starting out or you're motivated to refactor right away, is to use our managed services. Things like Amazon EMR for managed Hadoop, Athena for ad hoc queries, Glue for serverless cataloging and ETL, Redshift and Redshift Spectrum. This approach is all about focusing on outcomes. It eliminates the need to manage infrastructure. This is the approach that lets you get the full benefit of our pace of innovation here at AWS. With either approach, you do want to move to Amazon S3 as your storage foundation. This allows your applications to evolve around your data store. It's a great way to continue to get value from what you've already built and easily add new capabilities like machine learning, for example. Is this beginning to look like a complicated project? It really doesn't have to be. Many of our customers have been using our Lake Formation service to bring up their data lakes easily and quickly. Lake Formation is designed to streamline the entire deployment process. Using Lake Formation, you can collect the data from all your sources, catalog the data, clean and classify the data using machine learning algorithms. Once it's properly classified, Lake Formation can automate the setup of your access controls. You can use it to apply the correct access controls on the data as well as all of your analytics services. And this lets you provide fine-grained access control across those hundreds or even thousands of personas in your organization. To summarize, our customers have been adopting Amazon S3 for their data lakes for good reasons. First, S3 offers the features that are required to serve as the unified repository for all your data. It can support formats based on open standards, and this helps you eliminate data silos. Second, the ecosystem. By integrating easily with many AWS and third-party services for analytics, business intelligence, machine learning, and visualization, you're able to get insights from your data quickly. And third, with Amazon S3, you can grow your storage footprint and your data processing footprint in a completely decoupled fashion over time and only when you need it. And that's what you need for a cost-optimized data lake platform. So what are your next steps? First, we'd encourage you to learn more about data lakes on AWS. On our website, we have best practices documentation and a blog site devoted exclusively to big data posts. Next up, you may want to give this a whirl. We have a few template reference architectures on GitHub that we invite you to try in your sandbox AWS account. And of course, we on the AWS storage team will be delighted to hear from you. Do reach out to us with your questions or inquiries. The first link that you see up there on the slide is our Data Lake Storage webpage. Find the Contact Us link in that page and send us a note. We'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you for attending this session today. This is Ganesh again from the AWS Storage team signing off. Please do give us your opinions on this presentation. The session ID is STG203. Your online feedback will help make future sessions better. Thank you for taking the extra time to do this.